Hey there, it's Jill Havens, and I am talking about E squared again today. I'm on experiment number 6. I've done a video for each of the first 5, so you'll want to check them out. This is number 6, the superhero principle. Your thoughts and consciousness impact matter. Now, I want to read just a little bit of this chapter to you. It's just easier than trying to explain it. Japanese scientist Dr. Emoto spent 15 years researching the effects of human speech, thoughts, and emotions on physical matter. He chose one of matter's 4 traditional elements, water, to see how it responds to words, music, prayers, and blessings. Using more than 10,000 samples of water, Emoto and his research assistants spoke to, played music for, and asked monks to recite prayers over the water. The samples were then frozen, and the resulting ice crystals were examined under a microscope. In case you're wondering what water has to do with anything, dig this. Water is present everywhere, even in the air, and since the human body, and indeed the earth, consist of 70% water, it stands to reason that if words and thoughts impact water on its own, they will also affect larger, more complex systems also made up of water. What Emoto found is that when scientists treated the water kindly by saying such things as "I love you" and "thank you," the resulting water crystals became clear and beautifully formed. But when Emoto and his team talked negatively to the water, screaming such snide comments as "I hate you" or "you idiot," the crystals formed dark, ugly holes. When Elvis Presley's Heartbreak Hotel was played, the resulting frozen crystal split in 2. So that is just the beginning of the chapter, saying that our thoughts affect our surroundings. Get to the right part of the chapter. This one was a really simple experiment. It was probably the easiest one for me to believe was going to work. Let's see. Matter does not control you. You control matter. And that's really exciting because the more you believe in this, and again, this is just a small experiment. It starts with something small, and your belief builds on top of that. My beliefs are still building, but this one was pretty cool. Since we don't have access to all of Emoto's microscopes and research assistants, we're going to affect matter by duplicating an experiment you might have tried back in grade school, namely sprouting green bean seeds. Dr. Larry Dossey, in more than a half-dozen books on prayer, has detailed fastidiously precise medical studies that have proven that intention on a particular physical outcome affects everything from rye seeds to women with breast cancer. Again, we're beginners, so we're going to start with green beans. She also talked about in the chapter about sickness, and some of you might scoff at that, but gosh, I think you can think your way sometimes out of being sick. And I know that sounds like a crazy claim to make to some of you, but read the book and it might make some more sense to you. Positive thinking, let me tell you, goes a long, long way. And you know what? To that end, I've kind of seen that happen. I used to work with somebody who shall remain nameless. She just had a lot of things happen to her in her life, physically, to her family, and I came to find out that she was very, I don't want to say devious, but I don't think she let her true self out at all. She kept it all inside. I know she lied. She manipulated things to be the way she wanted them to be. And that manifested itself in sickness for her, sickness for her family, one problem after another. I mean, her family was just like her. And it was like always somebody else's fault. So one problem after another. And that was years ago, before I even got into this stuff, and I knew that was happening. I just knew it. So with this experiment, what you're going to do is plant 2 beans in each of the 12 slots of an egg carton and place it near a window. Water the plants every couple days. Make the following conscious intention. With my innate energy, I will that the beans on the left side of the egg carton grow faster than the beans on the right. Write down your observations for the next 7 days, and by the end of the week, you should see evidence that your intention has manifested. Now, did this work for me? Let me go to the very end of the chapter. The superhero principle, your thoughts and consciousness impact matter. And the question for this experiment, is it possible to affect the physical world with my attention? If I focus my attention on a row of green bean seeds, I can make them sprout faster. I will send those seeds positive vibes and expect them to be influenced by my energy. And that's, I didn't follow the exact directions of the experiment. I planted 1 seed per cup, and I focused on the right-hand side of my egg carton. Instead of a row, it was on the right-hand side. And by the end of 1 week, I had 1 on the right side that was pretty tall, and I had 1 on the left side that had grown, and it was shorter. And there's also on the right side, the one that I was focusing on, there was a teeny tiny little one just barely starting. So that was the result of my experiment. I talked to those beans every single day. I tried not to pay any attention except for watering. I tried not to pay any attention to the left-hand side. I felt bad to even look at them because I was putting some attention on them. I wanted to see if anything was happening, and I did it as quick as I could and took my eyes off because I didn't want to give it too much attention. But I focused all that attention, and I talked to them with love and sweetness, and, it was kind of silly, but you know how you talk to your pet maybe. And I did. I talked to him every day, and the results showed I had one that grew really tall. It was like over 1 inch taller than the other one that grew, and then I had another one, little one starting, and nothing else on the other side. So, consciousness and thoughts do affect matter. And, maybe you might think, okay, it's a fluke, do it again. I don't have to do it again because I believe it. Now, if you feel free to take that however you want to, but it just proves something that I already believed. Now, the thing that I have to work on, because I had no trouble believing that green bean seeds, that they would grow, especially the ones on the right-hand side. And that's how I have to train my brain, is to believe it. I mean, just to take it a step further, and not be afraid to believe that something else is going to happen. That's where my dilemma currently is raising that belief. Even though every single experiment so far in this book has worked, with the exception, I have an exception, but every one that I've done up until this one, and with this one, has worked, has proven itself. So without a doubt, I know this works. I just have some mind training to do, okay? Just because I want my focus to get bigger and bigger and bigger on what I can control. They say your mind can control a lot, and that we only use a small smidgen of our brain, and I want to learn to use it in a much bigger way than I have. And the next 2 experiments, I'm going to talk about them next time because I had to redo both of them. I did number 7 and number 8. I did them at the same time, and maybe that was the problem. Maybe part of the problem is that I was not focusing enough on one. I was focusing on both of them at the same time. Neither one of them worked for me. But the other thing that I want to say is I was not in a good, should I say, emotional space. Something that I had been working on and really hoping for fell flat. And I was mad about it. I just wasn't a happy camper. So I can't say that I engaged these experiments with my full mind. And if you're in that frame of mind, don't do the experiment. Just work on getting yourself back into a good frame of mind. Listening to fun music, whatever makes you happy, do it. And then when you're back in that space, then it's time to do these experiments. So that being said, both of these experiments failed. So I am doing number 7. I'm in the middle of it right now. I fully believe that it's going to work. It doesn't take much. So here in a couple days, this one actually took 3 days, or takes 3 days to do. So I will know in about a day and a half that it has worked. And then right after that, I'm going to start my 8th experiment. And I'm not sure how to handle it yet, but I have some time yet to figure that out. So anyways, that's my experiment number 6. It was successful, and again, I'm working on raising my consciousness. I've even been thinking about getting into some meditation, because I really believe in this stuff wholeheartedly. I've been studying this book, and it just plain makes me feel better when I read it, because I feel like I have so much more control. You know, when I step away from the book for a while, sometimes you feel like you don't have as much control, but you really do. So I'm finding more books like that to read and immerse myself in, and things are just going to continue to go uphill for me, and I'm going to keep documenting things that happen. And again, you can find me on Facebook. I'll probably have the link underneath this video. You can follow the things that I'm doing there. I'd love to connect with you, or subscribe to my YouTube channel. And it'd be great if you hit like on the bottom, and hopefully we won't have any controversy with this video. I don't know. I had some controversy with the first one, but that's all good. So I don't shy away from that. Well, I do, but I don't. So anyways, that's it. You guys take care. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Experiment number 7.